profitable.
Hi, honey.
Every millisecond, we send trillions of data and requests to where they are destined to be. We are shaping a better world. Huawei all-flash data center solution with ocean-stored Dorado inside accelerates digital government transformation. Keep efficient and stay convenient. As the alarm rings, Millie starts another busy day. Oh, she fails to get Andy the gift during the sales.
Oh no.
And her boss keeps pushing her.
Where is my coffee? One more minute.
Her boyfriend Andy is also having a rough day. It's the busiest hour of the shopping festival.
Oh my gosh, this is damn operations.
Split coffee is the least of his problems.
What's going on?
Oh, here comes his boss.
Andy, facing up, or I kick you out.
Good luck.
Bro.
Poor Andy really is helpless. Oops, he forgot to book a restaurant for today's anniversary. Things ain't easy for Millie either. Orders and deliveries are delayed. Her boss is losing temper.
Everything must be sent out today. I hope this is all just a bad dream.
Luckily, it was just a dream.
Good morning. Happy shopping festival.
In a world where everything is stored on all-flash storage systems, intelligent finance is smarter and more powerful than ever before. New, smart, all-flash systems are constantly processing information to ensure everything goes smoothly as planned. Everything will work out.
What a perfect day.
Every millisecond, we send trillions of data and requests to where they are destined to be. We embrace uncertainties. We are evolving. Huawei all-flash data center solution with ocean-stored Dorado inside drives intelligent finance transformation. Keep reliable and stay profitable.
Hi, honey.
Every millisecond, we send trillions of data and requests to where they are destined to be. We are shaping a better world. Huawei all-flash data center solution with ocean-stored Dorado inside accelerates digital government transformation. Keep efficient and stay convenient. As the alarm rings, Millie starts another busy day. Oh, she fails to get Andy the gift during the sales.
Oh no.
And her boss keeps pushing her.
Where is my coffee?
One more minute.
Her boyfriend Andy is also having a rough day. It's the busiest hour of the shopping festival.
Oh my gosh, this is damn operations.
Split coffee is the least of his problems.
What's going on?
Oh, here comes his boss.
Andy, facing up, or I kick you out.
Good luck.
Bro.
Poor Andy really is helpless. Oops, he forgot to book a restaurant for today's anniversary. Things ain't easy for Millie either. Orders and deliveries are delayed. Her boss is losing temper.
Everything must be sent out today. I hope this is all just a bad dream.
Luckily, it was just a dream.
Good morning. Happy shopping festival.
In a world where everything is stored on all-flash storage systems, intelligent finance is smarter and more powerful than ever before. New, smart, all-flash systems are constantly processing information to ensure everything goes smoothly as planned. Everything will work out.
What a perfect day.
Every millisecond, we send trillions of data and requests to where they are destined to be. We embrace uncertainties. We are evolving. Huawei all-flash data center solution with ocean-stored Dorado inside drives intelligent finance transformation. Keep reliable and stay profitable.
Hi, honey.
Every millisecond, we send trillions of data and requests to where they are destined to be. We are shaping a better world. Huawei all-flash data center solution with ocean-stored Dorado inside accelerates digital government transformation. Keep efficient and stay convenient. As the alarm rings, Millie starts another busy day. Oh, she fails to get Andy the gift during the sales.
Oh no.
And her boss keeps pushing her.
Where is my coffee?
One more minute.
Her boyfriend Andy is also having a rough day. It's the busiest hour of the shopping festival.
Oh my gosh, this is damn operations.
Split coffee is the least of his problems.
What's going on?
Oh, here comes his boss.
Andy, facing up, or I kick you out.
Good luck.
Bro.
Poor Andy really is helpless. Oops, he forgot to book a restaurant for today's anniversary. Things ain't easy for Millie either. Orders and deliveries are delayed. Her boss is losing temper.
Everything must be sent out today. I hope this is all just a bad dream.
Luckily, it was just a dream.
Good morning. Happy shopping festival.
In a world where everything is stored on all-flash storage systems, intelligent finance is smarter and more powerful than ever before. New, smart, all-flash systems are constantly processing information to ensure everything goes smoothly as planned. Everything will work out.
What a perfect day.
Every millisecond, we send trillions of data and requests to where they are destined to be. We embrace uncertainties. We are evolving. Huawei all-flash data center solution with ocean-stored Dorado inside drives intelligent finance transformation. Keep reliable and stay profitable.
Hi, honey.
Every millisecond, we send trillions of data and requests to where they are destined to be. We are shaping a better world. Huawei all-flash data center solution with ocean-stored Dorado inside accelerates digital government transformation. Keep efficient and stay convenient. As the alarm rings, Millie starts another busy day. Oh, she fails to get Andy the gift during the sales.
Oh no.
And her boss keeps pushing her.
Where is my coffee?
One more minute.
Her boyfriend Andy is also having a rough day. It's the busiest hour of the shopping festival.
Oh my gosh, this is damn operations.
Split coffee is the least of his problems.
What's going on?
Oh, here comes his boss.
Andy, face it up, or I kick you out.
Good luck.
Bro.
Poor Andy really is helpless. Oops, he forgot to book a restaurant for today's anniversary. Things ain't easy for Millie either. Orders and deliveries are delayed. Her boss is losing temper.
Everything must be sent out today. I hope this is all just a bad dream.
Luckily, it was just a dream.
Good morning. Happy shopping festival.
In a world where everything is stored on all-flash storage systems, intelligent finance is smarter and more powerful than ever before. New, smart, all-flash systems are constantly processing information to ensure everything goes smoothly as planned. Everything will work out.
What a perfect day.
Every millisecond, we send trillions of data and requests to where they are destined to be. We embrace uncertainties. We are evolving. Huawei all-flash data center solution with ocean-stored Dorado inside drives intelligent finance transformation. Keep reliable and stay profitable.
Hi, honey.
Every millisecond, We send trillions of data and requests to where they are destined to be. We are shaping a better world. Huawei all-flash data center solution with ocean stored Dorado inside accelerates digital government transformation. Keep efficient and stay convenient. As the alarm rings, Millie starts another busy day. Oh, she fails to get Andy the gift during the sales.
Oh no.
And her boss keeps pushing her.
Where is my coffee?
One more minute.
Her boyfriend Andy is also having a rough day. It's the busiest hour of the shopping festival.
Oh my gosh, this is damn operations.
Split coffee is the least of his problems.
What's going on?
Oh, here comes his boss.
Andy, facing up, or I kick you out.
Good luck.
Bro.
Poor Andy really is helpless. Oops, he forgot to book a restaurant for today's anniversary. Things ain't easy for Millie either. Orders and deliveries are delayed. Her boss is losing temper.
Everything must be sent out today. I hope this is all just a bad dream.
Luckily, it was just a dream.
Good morning. Happy shopping festival.
In a world where everything is stored on all flash storage systems, intelligent finance is smarter and more powerful than ever before. New, smart, all-flash systems are constantly processing information to ensure everything goes smoothly as planned. Everything will work out.
What a perfect day.
Every millisecond, we send trillions of data and requests to where they are destined to be. We embrace uncertainties. We are evolving. Huawei all-flash data center solution with ocean-stored Dorado inside drives intelligent finance transformation. Keep reliable and stay profitable.
Hi, honey.
Every millisecond, we send trillions of data and requests to where they are destined to be. We are shaping a better world. Huawei all-flash data center solution with ocean-stored Dorado inside accelerates digital government transformation. Keep efficient and stay convenient. As the alarm rings, Millie starts another busy day. Oh, she fails to get Andy the gift during the sales.
Oh no.
And her boss keeps pushing her.
Where is my coffee?
One more minute.
Her boyfriend Andy is also having a rough day. It's the busiest hour of the shopping festival.
Oh my gosh, this is damn operations.
Split coffee is the least of his problems.
What's going on?
Oh, here comes his boss.
Andy, facing up, or I kick you out.
Good luck.
Bro.
Poor Andy really is helpless. Oops, he forgot to book a restaurant for today's anniversary. Things ain't easy for Millie either. Orders and deliveries are delayed. Her boss is losing temper.
Everything must be sent out today. I hope this is all just a bad dream.
Luckily, it was just a dream.
Good morning. Happy shopping festival.
In a world where everything is stored on all flash storage systems, intelligent finance is smarter and more powerful than ever before. New, smart, all-flash systems are constantly processing information to ensure everything goes smoothly as planned. Everything will work out.
What a perfect day.
Every millisecond, we send trillions of data and requests to where they are destined to be. We embrace uncertainties. We are evolving. Huawei all-flash data center solution with ocean-stored Dorado inside drives intelligent finance transformation. Keep reliable and stay profitable. Oh, she fails to get Andy the gift during the sales.
Oh no.
And her boss keeps pushing her.
Where is my coffee?
One more minute.
Her boyfriend Andy is also having a rough day. It's the busiest hour of the shopping festival.
Oh my gosh, this is damn operations.
Split coffee is the least of his problems.
What's going on?
Oh, here comes his boss.
Andy, facing up, or I kick you out.
Good luck.
Bro.
Poor Andy really is helpless. Oops, he forgot to book a restaurant for today's anniversary. Things ain't easy for Millie either. Orders and deliveries are delayed. Her boss is losing temper.
Everything must be sent out today. I hope this is all just a bad dream.
Luckily, it was just a dream.
Good morning. Happy shopping festival.
In a world where everything is stored on all flash storage systems, intelligent finance is smarter and more powerful than ever before. New, smart, all-flash systems are constantly processing information to ensure everything goes smoothly as planned. Everything will work out.
What a perfect day.
Every millisecond, we send trillions of data and requests to where they are destined to be. We embrace uncertainties. We are evolving. Huawei all-flash data center solution with ocean-stored Dorado inside drives intelligent finance transformation. Keep reliable and stay
Can you hear me?
profitable.
Hello? Okay, you can hear me now? Okay. Should we start now? Okay. Hello, and welcome. Great, okay. We're going to start in just 2 minutes. I've had one request. We're not going to have a completely full house, so the request has been, can folks just spread out a little bit? Could we leave one seat in between individuals just to spread out a little bit for health and safety purposes? And we're just going to begin in about another minute or so. Thank you. Okay, welcome all. Thank you very much for attending, and this is the Full Stack Data Center Renew the Digital Infrastructure session. And I'll be your moderator today. My name is Ian Redpath. I'm the practice leader for transport networks at Omdia. And so today's session will cover many important topics in terms of modernizing data center infrastructure And we'll also touch a little bit on networks, data center interconnect networks as well. So enterprises are rapidly shifting to the cloud, and their carrier partners are supporting them, helping them renew their infrastructure and modernize. And also in today's session, we'll hear from a number of industry leaders on this topic, including some enterprises with some very, very interesting use cases, and we'll hear from our host, Huawei, as well. So I'll begin with a little bit of a scene-setting talk from my side. Okay, so in terms of an outline today, I'm going to begin with a little bit on some of the cloud service momentum that we're seeing today. We've all heard a lot about edge computing, and it's been with us for a few years now, and the market momentum is growing there as well. And then everybody that's involved in this sector knows that there's a lot going on with some of the fundamental technologies, compute and storage advances. And then I'll shift and talk a little bit about connectivity and architectures. So talking a little bit about optical interconnect inside the data center, and then also some of the optical interconnect that we're seeing in the wide area network as well. And then green has absolutely moved from the periphery to a central part of the discussion. And then as part of OMDIA, we have a strong history in some quantitative results and some analytics, so I'll share a little bit of our research there from that perspective. So the shift to cloud and born in the cloud. So I like to think about this in two ways, in two major categories. So I'll begin with the shift to cloud. And the first couple of cases that I have, these are actually, they happened a couple of years ago, but quite interesting cases of enterprises moving at scale to a cloud model. So the first one was a major online travel company, and they already had a lot of their own infrastructure and assets. You can see there from the numbers, 45,000 servers, 35 petabytes of data, and they'd invested over 600 million in data center assets, and they moved that entire operation into the cloud. And then there was a case of a holiday airline, so a real burstable type of model where they did see bursts of traffic, and they really liked the idea of being able to utilize the cloud capability of bursting and taking advantage of that. And then the next couple of cases are a little more recent, and they happened really during the pandemic era. So that allowed the companies to pause and take stock and make some major renewal decisions and initiatives. So the first one was an industrial manufacturer. Then they moved 2,000 applications into the cloud, and one of the attributes that they really liked was the rapid server provisioning capability, going down to a minute model as opposed to ordering a physical piece of infrastructure. And then the second one was a major global airline, and they shifted 200 applications into the cloud as well. And then the last one is a stock exchange example, and they moved the real heart of the trading, a matching engine, into the cloud. So, when we think about all these companies, all of them have gone on a journey, and they all started, at a rudimentary level where they, started with trials, and then, developed, gained the confidence, worked with it, and then moved on to, more ambitious endeavors. So the matching engine, to me, really speaks of a true embracing of the concept. And then we also have the concept of companies that are born in the cloud. So these companies begin without an IT infrastructure. They start utilizing the cloud right from the inception of their operations. So we're starting to hear more and more of that in the industry as well. And they look to take advantage of the low barriers to entry and the ability to scale rapidly. So here's a little bit of a metric from my perspective. So if you look at the financial performance numbers that I have here, it's cloud revenue for two of the cloud leaders, and it's actually business units within larger organizations. And you can see that this is a very significant $100 billion business, and it's really gone from its infancy to something very, very substantive in a few short years. And so there's just a great appeal for the enterprises. But folks do have to work it out and figure out what's best for them. And one cloud might not address all their needs, so we've moved on to this kind of concept of the hybrid multi-cloud era. So folks don't want to be necessarily moved to another lock-in model, so they do want multi. And then at the same time, there's also going to be cases where some applications may be difficult to port over to a cloud model. So that's where the concept of the hybrid comes in. But folks absolutely do want to take advantage, and also working with a lot of the SaaS providers. The big challenge here is to get a unified architecture and a unified management model to make this all work together. And when folks get to that point, then it really unlocks further value. And then edge compute, another key topic in the industry. And, we at Omdia, we always like to, see, the financial results and the real pragmatics. I mean, every technology starts with, a vision, and people do, try to think big. And what we're starting to see here is that real transition to those tactile use cases and real use cases that people can deploy and implement today. So the fundamentals of edge are with us. Low latency, take decisions at the edge, and then possibly reduce backhaul traffic and reduce some of the burden of storage. So in terms of some of the use cases that we're seeing that are gaining traction today, quite a lot in the video analytics area. And some of them are, a little bit mundane, but if they flow through and save a company, 10% fuel, 20% fuel, then there's a real business case there. So we've seen a couple of interesting ones. Putting video cameras on railway networks. It doesn't sound wildly exciting, but the simple premise is take those videos, and then when everything's fine, you can just immediately dispose that video, so it's not taking storage, it's not taking network resource, and then you send up a flare when something critical happens. So cases like that. Another one that kind of struck me was the concept of ATMs and skimming devices. And banks actually had staff looking at video, looking at this, and it had an economic impact. So moving on to a video era, use the video analytics and take the people out of the equation. So a couple of very, very simple examples, but then just scale that to thousands of applications, and you've really got a lot of value there. And again, a lot of it is the applications are easy to understand, but it's a lot about the operational control and building that environment to control all that. In terms of some of the fundamental technologies, boiling it down, storage, and then also the processing and the compute. So in terms of storage, a couple of the key catalysts are, as people embrace the cloud model, they want the same type of speed and performance that they did receive in an in-house model. So that's a key driver for folks. And then we do have some different models and choices to make in terms of which flash is right for which application. I mean, it could be used, in server, it could be used over fabric, and DPUs are also getting involved, leveraging a parallel capability. And then in terms of the processing, we're seeing a lot more. We always have the advances in the general purpose CPU, but more and more processors built for and optimized for specific applications to extract the maximum performance, and also lower power as well. So GPUs for video processing. Another metric for you, and shifting gears to the networking side of the discussion. So in terms of the connectivity that we're seeing in the real cloud scale data centers, they're moving on to some very, very impressive speeds. So the optics that I'm talking about here are the optics inside the data center supporting those architectures. So top of rack, leaf and spine, and the distances that folks are looking at. These optics can be 300 meters, 500 meters, up to 2 kilometers. And if you follow along with the chart here, you can see that we're kind of in that transition phase between 100 gig interconnect and 400 gig. Is coming up and coming up and growing quite strongly. And then 200 gig is in the mix as well. So we were in a 100 gig real cost optimized era, and now we're in the midst of shifting to 400 gig. And the volumes here, as you can see from the chart, are quite tremendous. And what does this mean for the enterprise side? The enterprise side, depending on where you are, the generations that you're at, could be anywhere from a gig, 10, 40 gig, and then also the fiber channel variants. And so the appeal of these high capacity solutions is just the fundamental economics. You're getting a tremendous cost per bit benefit. And from a volume side, the cloud providers are driving a huge volume. So that volume enables the great cost reduction and the performance. And then shifting over to the WAN side of the whole story, just for simplification, I left off all of the aggregation and the ingress and started at an aggregation point in the data center networks. And I like to think of the data center networks as really a hierarchy, and you've got a tremendous amount of traffic that's funneling in. So for many networks, once they've hit that aggregation point, this discussion quickly gets to 100 gig and 100 gig multiples and scaling from there. And there's another number of attributes that are involved, low latency, deterministic, and this is being driven both by the cloud service adoption and also more and more from 5G to come. And then as we move into the data center core, we get to the massive levels of bandwidth. So these are the terabit levels of data center interconnect. And to build these networks, you've got to leverage all the toolkit that's available in the DWDM era. So again, it's a lot of 100 gig today and 200 and shifting to 400. And then there's also the spectrum and the bands, and folks are leveraging beyond the traditional C band. We have Super C, we have C+L. So we're getting to an era where we can reach almost 100 terabits on a fiber pair, which is a tremendous amount of bandwidth. And then the industry doesn't stop there. There's very, very high fiber count deployment in these networks, and some of that is into the thousands and thousands of fiber pairs in a bundle. So really a tremendous amount of bandwidth for some of these core networks. And so another metric for your consideration, what I'm showing here is on the equipment market, and this is the equipment, the optical equipment that's supporting data center interconnect. And so this is really a 2.0 type of equipment. When we started with data center interconnect a few years back, it was just the standard WDM equipment that was used, but then we moved on to a new generation of equipment that was really optimized and more purpose-built for that function. And again, you can see that from 5 years back, it really was in its infancy, and it's grown rapidly to a $2 billion market from a global perspective. And again, at the risk of repeating myself, 100 gig onto a 400 gig era. And then just lastly, a quick word on power. And another great theme in the conference today, and what I like about it is, you go back a few years and power was kind of more of a gleam in the eye, and now it's really, really front and center. And there's some interesting demos in the show floor that really highlight some advances there. And there's many different dimensions to optimizing and improving power efficiency, and it depends on what your starting point is. one key is, folks are looking more and more at measuring it and measuring it down at an application level. What kind of power profile is your application consuming? And providers are making that data visible to their end customers. So that's a great tool. Power can be affected right at the very, very beginning of data center construction, and modularization can help there. And then renewables, again, another topic, kind of a gleam in the eye to something that is really tangible and tactile. I happened to be on a flight not too long ago and had a window seat, had my head down, and sometimes you get that glint out the window like a sunbeam glint, and I looked out, and there happened to be a massive solar array down there. So I'm looking at the solar array, and then I looked right beside it, and there was a huge data center campus. And then I looked at the adjacent town that was there, and the solar array was about half the size of this whole town. So just kind of an example of, people are really moving in that direction in earnest. And then a lot can be done from an operational and management perspective, more intelligent analysis, utilize cooling, in point matters, really where you need it, and it'll have the most beneficial effect. And another thing that's come up in the industry is that shift from legacy enterprise environments to highly efficient cloud environments. That can actually help reduce the power consumption per application. So that gets me to some concluding thoughts. So there's really a lot going on here. We've got a number of trends from a big macro picture perspective: cloud service momentum, edge compute and storage advances, a lot going on in optics and green, absolutely. And then, this turns into a number of challenges for the enterprise community. How do they modernize? How do they go forward and take advantage of all this? So there's a lot to think about there too, in terms of modernizing the IT management infrastructure, modernizing the compute and storage directly. Where does reliability fit into all this? And improving the power efficiency and modernizing the network as well. But the good news is there's a lot of tools and capabilities out there, and folks can look to take advantage of that. So that's it from my side, and we'll move along in our agenda here. So our next speaker who will be joining us on the stage comes from Huawei, and we will have Shi Wei, and he'll give us a much more detailed discussion on today's modern full-stack data center solutions. Shi.
Thank you. It's not working. So good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Wayne. I'm responsible for Huawei Enterprise Data Center Solution Department. So in next 20 minutes, I'm going to share with you some Huawei's perspective of data center solution. So today, I think nobody can leave mobile phone, because mobile phone become the digital center of personal and greatly improve the way we work and live. But similarly, no enterprise can leave the data center, because data center as the core infrastructure of enterprise are continually to improve the production efficiency and the reliability of the enterprise. To catch this trend, more than 170 countries start their national digital strategy. It's estimated that more than 90% of the computing power and the data will be aggregated in data center by 2025. This means that data center will be more and more solid foundation for the enterprise to go to the digital. Today, we can say every enterprise urged to build a cloud-intensive and green data center. But cloud intensive and green are not the goal, but the result of the real requirement of the business. So for the cloud trend, we can see that enterprise services are always change and the fast time to market are always crest. So how can the enterprise ensure the high service reliability and availability in this situation? Therefore, the cloud native and the container automation became the mainstream. So by 2025, we can see that the investment in the cloud data center will account for more than 60%. And for the intensive trend, as the Moore's law fails, unfortunately, the enterprise data center expand very quickly. And how the enterprise keep increasing the computing power and the data and a very tight IT budget. So the answer is ultra-large data center with XPU architecture design. We take China as an example. In 2021, more than 80% of the new data center are ultra-large data center. That means more than 3,000 racks. So for the green trend, the energy consumption of data center accounts for a large share of carbon emission. So for this reason, many countries and regions start to raise specific requirements on data center energy consumption. So for example, the Euro set a carbon neutral target for data center by 2030. And the Beijing city designed to phase out data center with a PUE above 2 before 2025. So to keep the pace with this trend, Huawei unified computing, storage, network, cloud, and energy product lines together to work to build a series of core competitive advantages for the data center and try to help the enterprise to renew the data center infrastructure. So by saying renew, we mean that renew computing and storage to improve the data center density, renew network to break performance bottleneck of the data transfer, and renew reliability to ensure service continuity for multiple data center. And also we have a renew green by building a green data center with multiple PUE. So let's talk one by one. The first, we're talking about renew the computing and the storage. For the computing, I think all that we know that the computing power increased more than 30% per year. But because of the failure of the Moore's law, it influenced a lot of the computing power. It leads a very sharp increase in the enterprise IT investment. So the traditional CPU technology cannot solve this problem. Huawei developed XPU synergy technology. That means dedicate XPU for dedicated task. So it brings a large performance improvement. So for example, our latest Fusion Cube product offload data task to the DPUs, and in the virtualization scenario, a single server can host 30% more VMs. And for the storage, I think flash is still the best way to solve the performance and the cost. So Huawei provide all flash storage for the data center, from the primary storage to the data analysis storage, and also our backup storage. So in the primary scenario of the storage, we think NVMe over Fabric is the right technology because it reduces the latency to 0.05 milliseconds, which is 2 times faster than the industry. And in the data analysis scenario, high density design is very, very important. So we improve the performance density by 60% of the data center. In the data backup scenario, all flash architecture could increase the backup bandwidth by 3 times. So, and then if we have really the best storage, best computing. So how we can do the fast provisioning? So what we think is that the out-of-the-box cloud service is the best choice. So it's not for the IT administrator, but for the end user directly. Simple and fast. It will improve the time to market from T+1 to T+0. So next, let's move to the new network. So if you consider the data center as a computer, then you find that the data center network is the bus of the computer. The bus should be very high bandwidth, stable, and open. So first, if we look at the network in the data center, because today we know that the east-west traffic increase very fast, the east-west traffic of the network. And also the VM and the container technology raised. So the network design become very, very important. So Huawei now, we suggest to use the all IP and the lossless Ethernet technology to reduce the complexity and also increase the network performance. So Huawei unique lossless algorithm achieve zero packet loss. Second, we see the network between the data center. We know that the traffic between the data center increase every year 50%. So how the enterprise save the cost? So some enterprise, they make the choice. They start to rent optical fiber directly and build the interconnected data center network by themselves. And Huawei developed ultra broadband optical transmission device, the DC908, to provide the industry largest bandwidth, which is 96 Tbits bandwidth per fiber, only one fiber. So the third also is the provisioning. So normally, we have a cloud network, we have the traditional network. Network is so complicated. So if we want to connect two ports, it will be very difficult. So we developed the data network synergy technology to implement the fast service delivery from days to minutes. So then let's move to the reliability. So data center reliability is always one of the most important concerns. Today, data center are gradually changed from single center data center to two-city, three-center data center, even to the multi-city, multi-center data center. So in the same time, the business flexibility are required. So in this time, the reliability technology also should be matched. So first, we provide all scenario DR solution. For the single data center, we provide security snapshot. For the second data center, we provide special industry unique active technology. We combine the storage and the DWDM collaboration. It enables the active link switch from 50 milliseconds to 5 milliseconds. So most of the applications are not aware about this. And also, it will reduce the unhealthy I/O switchover from 1 minute to 1 second to keep the network healthy. And also, for the third data center, we provide the professional backup storage based on the all-flash architecture. So it will improve 3 times backup bandwidth. So all of it, we know that the backup, the time is very short. So most of the key data will be backed up in time. So finally, let's discuss the Renew Green. So green data center is not only several features. We have to think about from build to use and manage full cycle to achieve the ultimate PUE. So the first is the green construction. The prefabricated modular construction method greatly improved the TTM from 20 months to 6 months, and Huawei's unique rock architecture is capable to resist the level 9 seismic intensity. And then it's green used. So everybody knows that the data center is limited. The space is limited. The power system is always take a large space. So Huawei provides a full convergent power module, which can save 47 space and release the space for the IT equipment. So we calculate that 10% we can release to the IT equipment. And also, data center electricity also limited. So Huawei unique polymer heat exchange nature cooling system maximize the use of nature cooling resource and reduce the energy consumption by 17% from the cooling system. Finally, is the green management. So Huawei, we have our own data center. So we managed our data center for more than 20 years. So we use our 20 years experience, we developed the NetEco network management system. So it could implement automatic data center operation and reduce the operation power. So to build a cloud-ready, green, intensive data center for the sustainable development, Huawei provides full-stack data center product and solution. For facility layer, we can provide different sides of the prefabricated modular data center facility product, and for the product of power, supply, and cooling. For the computing and the storage layer, we provide hyper-convergent infrastructure solution with XPU synergy, and also OceanStor all-flash series storage product for ultra-high band DWDM device. For cloud layer, we can provide agent and efficiency Huawei Cloud Stack solution. Besides, we can provide all scenario DR and backup solutions and data center professional service. So we hope to partner with our customer to renew our digital infrastructure and power the digital transformation for enterprise. So that's all my introduction. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Xi. Okay, so moving right along, our next speaker will be Marcel Pole, and he'll provide us with a very interesting case study on the all-flash powered data center building a reliable data highway. Marcel, please.
Yeah, good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Marcel Pole. I'm responsible in the R&D department for the Western Europe product management. I will share you today that all flash power data centers are not restricted to certain workloads. How this impacts the economics of your data center. Huawei will help worldwide customers and partners to build reliable data highways for future-ready infrastructure and application scenarios. In the next 5 years, data volumes will be increased from 32 zettabyte to 180 zettabyte. Data become more critical in all scenarios. Faster access, higher performance demand in finance transaction and tax. In manufacturing industries, the material query time is required to be reduced from 5 minutes to 5 seconds. More type of data need to be protected at larger scale. Real time means higher performance, need for faster access, multi-protocol support, higher IOs for high-O intensive workloads, and ultra-low latency over the complete lifetime of the storage systems. Always on, we must work on better efficiency, more intelligent use of our assets, always on active-active solution, scaling architecture for primary storage as well for backup storage. Downtime or long backup windows in any data center is simply unacceptable. Energy saving means cost efficiency, lower TCO, lower OPEX. Today, the data centers account for 3% of the total world annual power consumption. Electricity fees account for over the half of the OPEX cost of the majority of the data centers today. Today, our reference architecture, Huawei all-flash data center, present a faster, greener, and more reliable solution for enterprises. For manage the cost more effective of your data. All IP data centers for unified data center networks moving forward from fiber channel switches in SAN to all IP switches. With NVMe over Fabric, we unlock the all-flash potential of NVMe drives. All scenario flash, primary storage acceleration for structured and unstructured data, active-active solution, active-passive solution, 3DC support is today fully supported in Huawei. All scenario data protection, full DR for hot data, quick backup and restore for warm data, and cloud DR. Huawei believes that all flash data centers should have a full lifecycle OEM, automatically planning, deployment, and optimization. With our reference architecture for all flash end-to-end, we can bring the power consumption 70% down, and we have 50% space saving in the data center. For example, an old HDD with 1.2 terabyte disk have a power consumption of 7 watt today. Our own Huawei developed SSD with 7.6 terabyte NVMe drive have the same power consumption today. That means the huge potential of power reduction, carbon reduction for all scenarios in the data center. All flash for all scenarios is striving to move to green, efficient, and agile data centers. Primary storage with OceanStore Dorado in SAN and NAS, end-to-end active-active, smart metrics architecture, deliver 21 million IOs and 0.05 millisecond latency today. 50% lower access latency with NVMe drives, and we enable end-to-end innovations with lossless Ethernet-based NVMe over Fabric. All-flash backup storage with Ocean Protect, always on with active-active architecture. We can deliver 3 times higher backup and recovery speed with this product. OceanStore Pacific, HPDA, high performance for data analytics. High bandwidth on the one side for large files, 60% higher IOs for small files, and very important, multi-protocol interworking for data mobility and sharing between the multiple processes. High-density hardware combined with intelligent software delivered highest performance per node. And with new smart NICs, we can support full balancing distributed storage today. With our all-flash portfolio, we have an answer to the top requirements from the market. Reliable, cost-effective, best energy saving, and more intelligent use of the assets with support of AI for data innovations. Huawei have a new vision of backup. In the traditional backup environments, we're talking about disk to tape. That's a real problems for our customers today. Unacceptable long backup windows and unpredictable recovery time objectives for applications. We launched our new concept. The new benchmark of data protection is flash to everything. Fast backups and recovery as all-flash systems. We improved with this concept the end-to-end backup acceleration, boost the system's performance, 3 times faster backups to increase backup windows and enable fast copies. Instant recovery, 8 times faster restores with all-flash media, and multi-controller, active deployments, balance workloads. We are really openness. Huawei solutions are designed to adapt new ecosystems like container, big data, cloud backup, and to grow with our customer. Flash to anything, deliver an intelligent solution for archive data to hybrid cloud, public cloud, or private clouds. Faster media and protocols called for faster networks on storage systems. That bring us here to our Ocean Store Dorado all-flash for SAN and NAS solution. We support NVMe over Fabric. With NVMe over Rocky, it's an easy way to manage the IP network, provide 10 times higher throughput bandwidth and lower latency than Fiber Channel today. Ever fast, Ocean Store Dorado high-end storage deliver millions of IOs and ultra-low latency. In the NAS area for the workloads, we can deliver 30% higher performance than the industry benchmark. Ocean Store Dorado is the only one active NAS storage solution in the market. 30% higher in small files and small block performance. This is really fantastic for our customers. But of course, ever solid, with our smart matrix architecture, we can tolerate 7 of 8 controller failures. We can use synchronous replication, active with hypermetro, local protection, widable snapshots, built-in containers, and we are supporting 3DC. But of course, we must looking also with our storage system to ever secure. We can deliver 4 layers of anti-ransomware protection, include block and data security detection, security snapshots. For example, the Ocean Store OS is included in the systems, can schedule high-frequency local snapshots every 3 seconds in case of ransomware attacks. This is a great recovery time objective for your applications. How to protect your company for ransomware? In 2021, the Cyber Threat Report reported 105% more ransomware attacks than last year, affecting hospitals, governance, companies worldwide. Our Huawei 4-layer protection solution help our customers achieve disaster recovery of production data and backup of critical enterprise data. For example, Layer 1 and Layer 2, the production zone, Ocean Store Dorado and Ocean Protect detect ransomware attacks and assist the operator to prompt handling. As the first level in the primary storage on Ocean Store Dorado, we can use the included feature HyperCDP. It's a continuous data protection. We can create snapshots every 3 seconds and can keep 60,000 snapshots per system online. With secure snapshots on production storage, we can recover services in seconds. Therefore, the RPO is 3 seconds. This is an enormous increase compared to traditional backups windows of 24 hours. In Layer 3, local backups with Ocean Protect recover services in hours. We have advanced worm functions that can protect files and folders for encryption-based ransomware. Level 4, the storage air gap zone, we working on a secure gateway or secure encrypted tunnel to allow us the different zones support data mobility and faster service recovery. Here's our Ocean Protect X9000. Is our new flagship for backup storage. With Ocean Protect systems, we can deliver for our customers fast backups, 3 times higher backup with about 155 terabyte per hour boost end-to-end backup acceleration. Fast recovery, 5 times higher with about 172 terabyte per hour recovery bandwidth. We use efficient deduplication and compression technology to achieve ultimate data reduction of up to 72:1. It's 20% higher than the industry next product. And all our Ocean Protect backup systems are similar to the production, are active-active controller, high reliability, failover in seconds without any interruption of backup and restore processes. Fast backups and restores means end-to-end acceleration to use SSDs. Efficient data reduction, inline variable deduplication, high compression, and byte-level compaction. But of course, high reliability. Again, we have Ocean Protect with a dual control architecture that is an active-active system, and we can use RAID-TP parity software technology. RAID-TP is able to tolerate simultaneous failures of 3 SSDs in the same time. Coming to our next product, Ocean Store Pacific. HPDA stands for High Performance Data Analytics with our next generation parallel file system. It is Huawei innovation in the architecture with seamless interworking, multi-protocol interworking ability. Data can be transferred from one storage to analytics as one set of storage. We support today 3-in-1 file protocols. That means we support NFS and ZIFs, we support Object S3, Big Data HDFS protocol without the need for data migration, allowing data analytics to efficiency to increase by more than 2 times. The integration of high performance with big data and AI has multi-protocol access become the leader for data processing today. For example, NFS and HDFS protocols is used today in the R&D process of autonomous driving. Traditional storage systems can handle only one protocol at the same time, a result that some typical applications need more time for data migration. That means overall 35% of the total data processing time must be used for data migration between the systems. We have the Ocean Store Pacific based or architectured on a high density design. We can provide 80 half-palm NVMe SSDs in a 5U chassis for performance nodes, and we have the possibility for capacity. We can provide 120 HDisk in a 5U chassis for capacity mode. This is 2 petabytes of storage in 5U. We achieve 20% cost saving per gigabyte. With intelligent tiering and high density design, it can help customers to achieve 70% of space saving and 40% power reduction with this model. Okay, coming to the last one, let's see here some third-party reports of Huawei storage. On the left side, you see 2 reports for enterprise storage. One is the Gartner report. Huawei storage get the #1 of Gartner customer choice. We are very proud of this customer feedback. Thank you for that. Another is the SPC1 benchmark ranking. We can deliver 21 million IOs performance with ultra low latency. We are leading with our Ocean Store Dorado 18,000 systems, the benchmark. And keep in mind, this benchmark runs with 70% of utilized storage. A lot of customers doing today benchmarks, they are running on a fresh system, and on the beginning the systems works perfect. After years, if you fill up the systems, then you see the difference, doing every time a proof of concept with a full system, and then you see the real performance of the SSDs. The last report on the right side is the IO500, it becoming the benchmark standard for HPC storage. Huawei get the top 4 positions on the list. Huawei storage is highly recognized by the storage industry. Innovation at Huawei products, it is our core, drive industry development and create values for customers and partners in the entry value chain. Thank you for listening and welcome. Visit our booth in Hall 1. We can discuss with our experts more deep dive of the new all-flash powered data centers. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Marcel. Okay, so our next speaker will be Olivier Genot, and he comes from the Clinique Universitaire in St. Luc, from Brussels, and he'll update us from the healthcare perspective. Olivier, please.
Thank you, Jan. Hello, good afternoon. Do you hear me? It's okay? Good afternoon. I'm very happy and honored to be on this stage today at my first MWC. I will see, it's going, yes, okay. In fact, we are a customer of Huawei since a few years, and I want to share with you what are our experience. And I will not give a teasing, it's good experience that we have so far. In a few words, I'm CIO of the Clinique Universitaire Saint-Luc since 2021. Formerly, I was the IT manager who put in place the storage with my team that I will show you some part of it. And we are happy with the storage solutions since 2016, a few years ago already. First of all, I will do some marketing about my institution. The Clinique Universitaire Saint-Luc is an hospital located in Brussels, in the heart of Europe. It's the second biggest hospital of Belgium, of the teeny Belgium. And the first one, the French-speaking part of Belgium. For those who knows a little bit Belgium, we have the Walloon and the Flemish, but we are working together. But we are mostly working on the French side. We have 1,000 beds, and we have about 6,000 employees. Our global revenue yearly is about 660 million a year. That's huge for Belgium, but that's not a lot for an hospital, and our margin is quite limited. That means that we need to be very careful about all our expenses. As we are an academic institution, all the revenue and all the margin that we can have is for a full reinvest in the research, education, and the care of the patient. At the level of Belgium, we are seen as a reference hospital. We have about 250,000 hospitalization days in acute beds, and with the COVID-19, it increased a little bit. We have about 500,000 consultations a year, more than 21,000 surgical interventions in 25 operating rooms. And I will let you the numbers afterwards. One important thing is the number of emergency admissions. That means that every day we have about 500 people coming in emergency department. That means that's 24 hours by 24, and that means that we need immediate reaction. No downtime is allowed, and no latency in how the nurses and the physician can take care of the patient. Our mission as academic hospital in Belgium, like every academic hospital, are mainly the patient care. That's the usual job and mission of all the hospitals. We have the medical education. There are 7 academic hospitals in Belgium. We are one of them. We do clinical research that have an important influence on the storage, because we want to keep as much as possible data to be able to make research. And also we make a lot of service to the community. A lot of our physicians and nurses appears in the newspaper, on the TV, to explain some aspect of the medical aspect for the COVID-19 that was quite recurrent. In an hospital, data storage is very important, and it's a real challenge, because we have a yearly growth between 67 to 120% a year. Why? Because medical imagery, all the images that are taken by the hospital are increasing in definition. We are taking picture of 8,000K, that's very usual now, to be more able to detect any disease, and also to be able to use it for, with artificial intelligence. We do also genetical research. The one exoma, or a full genotype, is about 40 terabytes each. If you have 200 patients a day for this aspect, you can imagine the growth of data. And also the study material, we keep everything as long as possible. We don't keep only what was used to take care of you, but if we discover a new disease or a new medication in the future, we can reuse this information anonymized to detect past diseases. We have a high performance requirements. Every consultation for a physician is 15 minutes. 15. That means that the data doesn't have time to wait that his application loads, that the data of the patient loads. Then we need something very, very fast. An EPIC system that we implemented in November 2020, the first one in the French version and the first one in Belgium. EPIC is like an SAP for healthcare. Request a very high performance requirement. That was about 1 millisecond with 1 million IOPS as latency. And as said, they don't have time to lose to wait the application running. And also one of the struggles in the hospitals is that IT is not their main focus. The main focus is care to patient. That's for nurses, that's for physicians. And my team within Saint-Luc, I said we are talking about 6,000 employees. My team, the whole IT team, is less than 100. It gives you an idea about how few we are to operate for. In 2016, we decided to review our whole storage architecture because we need an increase yearly. And when I came in Saint-Luc, we started to put a new box. At the end, that was too much, and it becomes unmanageable. And we decided to issue an RFP to have a strategic approach on that. And Huawei won the deal. To make it short, we have 2 data centers in active, and we have mainly block storage. That's our core business. We use a lot of VMs. We have about 2,000 servers. And we started with Ocean Store, 6,800. And we put them in place in sync. And you see that we make an evolution in 2021, last year, by adding the Dorado 6000 as evolution of the infrastructure. We also have file and warm NAS storage and NAS storage based on Ocean Store 5800. Also in full sync. That means that if one of the data centers goes down, it remains up and running, and it works. We tested it. Not by our own, but we make the tested, and it works very fine. Nobody sees that one of the data centers went down. And we use also backups on virtual tapes on Ocean Store 5500. And there, that's an asynchronous replication between the storage. The size of the storage, you have this. We have 100 terabytes. We have about 1 petabyte in total in block. We have 600 terabytes in file for the file system, for the NAS, and 1.2 petabytes for the backup system. Everything doubled because we have it twice. Every data of Saint-Luc is at least duplicated 4 times. 2 times in each data center and 2 times for the backups. That's the minimal. And we are using all-flash storage for Ocean Store 6000. And that's where the EPIC system works with inter-system database. All the Dorado are running the VMwares with a very low latency response time on the storage, and the file system on the Ocean Store. What we did with EPIC when we implemented, they say, okay, we do not know Huawei as a storage provider. That's not one of the brand used. We are confident in every storage, but we need to test it. And what they asked us, like they do before any production, we made a stress test on the system. The stress test, the target was to reach at least 1 millisecond response time with 1 million IOPS testing. In fact, we do not know how much the Huawei storage is able to achieve because the servers doing the test was not able to follow. But it was fair enough for us to be very confident, and that's real numbers. That's what we did 5 years ago, and we did it again last week with the Dorado. One important thing, in the previous presentation we were talking about space in the data center, that the density and the power usage. Our power bill for storage decreased at least of 50% because less disk, less spindle, less mechanical parts, and the number of racks decreased from 20 to 8 racks in total, all included. Also, the backup window, that was one of our challenges with the former solution. It takes about 3 days to make the full backup. That means that we started the Friday in the afternoon, and it hopefully finished the Monday in the morning or in the midday. Now with the full backups, with the new backup system, it takes maximum 8 hours when we do a full synthetic backup or a full backup. And the file access time, as user experience, the time was reduced of 70%. In fact, the day we changed the central file system, we get feedback from the users asking what happens. It's going fast, very faster than before. They really feel the difference. Working with Huawei was not, that was a discovery. As well for Huawei in the storage world, in Belgium, in 2016, we were the first to use Huawei in storage. When the account manager of Huawei met me the first time, I was wondering, oh, Huawei is doing something else than mobile phone. And indeed, you've seen in the previous presentation that they do a lot of other things. And I didn't expect them in storage. And in fact, that was a very good surprise. That was a new player in storage in Europe and mainly in Belgium. What are the pros? What are the lessons learned working with Huawei? One thing that is really amazing, and I'm not paid by Huawei, and that's truly what I think, that's a really strong customer orientation. They listen to the voice of the customer, and even some feature that was not available when we implemented the new storage. We said, oh gosh, we had this feature in the former solution that we had. It's not present. Oh yes, you're true. It's not present. It's not by design in the product. But your request is not where. That's something that we can understand that the user, that the customer can have the need of. It takes less than 1 month to have the feature enabled in the new solution worldwide. Huawei has a very high velocity in R&D, where there is some bugs fixing found out. They are working around the clock. They have a power in R&D in different sites in the world that gives you a feedback very fast. When we have major bugs, not without impact on production, the bug fix was there within the 72 hours. We never had to wait longer than that. Also, one of the advantage is that when you are using all flash system, Huawei owns the end-to-end solution. They build by themselves. That means that they cannot say, oh, sorry, I have to go with the other disk vendor and to see if we can adapt their firmware or not. They have the responsibility really end-to-end. Now their product is really mature. We are very confident. At the beginning, we have to find out some alignment with the way we work, with the way the application work. But the maturity of the product is now really good, and it's stable. No downtime since the go live. The strength of the support is also very efficient. We had an issue that has nothing to do with Huawei, that was true, but it's linked with storage system. Huawei can say, sorry, it's not in our hands, but even that, my account manager and the support of Huawei comes along to help us to support and to interact with the third-party vendor. And also, something funny, in Belgium, like everywhere in Europe, you have the RGPD that is in place. In fact, the Huawei guys were more protective than us with our own data. Even with a risk assessment where as the manager we say, okay, that's a risk that we can afford, they challenge us, are you sure that you afford this risk? For example, for the destruction of the disk, that for the spare disk of the broken disk. That's quite funny, some discussion about that. Lessons learned. As Huawei was new in Belgium and in storage in this part, at the beginning we have to align our wordings. I'm talking a very bad English. Everybody for who the English is not a native language has its own understanding with the cultural aspect, and that we have to align at the beginning. But that was an issue for the first weeks. Not an issue, a challenge. And also, if you are the CIO or the manager of the team, talking with the engineers, you have to be careful about what you say. A suggestion can be taken as an order. Then that's something that for your own as manager the questions to challenge the solution must be clearly explained as what do you think about that, but not as a will. Voila, that was, I make it short. That was to share our experience, and the stories continue because we are very confident to continue to work with Huawei. And also, when I see the new products coming on, they will solve some of our issues with the new backup system and so on. Then I'm quite happy to work with that. Thank you for your attention, and have a nice day in Barcelona.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Olivier. So our next speaker will be Ajit Das from IDC, and he'll provide a talk on the business value of the self-built data center interconnect. Ajit, please.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. So in next 10 minutes or so, I'm going to talk about the benefits of self-built DCI. So IDC did a study with Huawei, joint study. We did a global survey of some of the enterprises who are using the self-built DCI. We wanted to understand what are the benefits they are getting out of self-built DCI. So just to kind of give you like the context of the survey, this was a global survey. We interviewed 9 enterprises. They came from different verticals. Some were telecom, some were hospitality, some were in the healthcare business, and they all are using self-built DCI. They are using a different company's self-built DCI, but we just wanted to understand why they are using it as for the lease line services. And we found some very interesting insight into self-built DCI. I wanted to share some of those insights with you. So overall, if you look at the finding of the survey, 38%, they saw that there is a 38% cost savings in operations over next 3 years or so by using self-built DCI as against the lease line the way they were using before. The return on investment on self-built DCI was 325% in over 3 years, and it only took them 9 months to get the break-even on the capital expenditure they did on self-built DCI. So in a really good summary, we can say that the self-built DCI, it gives them a lot of control on their network. It gives them more cost efficiency in terms of how they operate their DCI, and that makes a lot of sense for them to build their own DCI rather than using a leased line from service providers. Further, if we go deeper into the data, this slide talks about where the savings are coming from. So if we break down the total operation cost, there are two types of cost which basically mix the operation. One is the cost of staff timing, and other is the cost of connectivity. So with the self-built DCI, what they saw is that there is a substantial cost savings in the staff time, and also there is substantial cost saving in the connectivity. So they saw 38% lower cost over 3 years of time using the self-built DCI on operation side. There are another key data points here. 77% of the cost saving came from the connectivity. 42% cost savings came from the infrastructure and operational cost. It took them 13 months to get the return on investment or to break even on their capex when they built their own DCI, and they did see 33% efficiency on their IT staff by using the self-built DCI. So I mean, from all those data points, all those angles, it makes a lot more sense to build the DCI rather than using the leased line for their data center connectivity. This slide kind of goes into month by month analysis on the break-even point. So in the month 1, when you're building your own DCI, there is a large capex cost there, but by 13th month, the enterprise can get break-even on their investment, and then from there onwards, it is basically profit for them. Another key data point I wanted to point out here is that if you are using a private lease line versus the self-built DCI, there is 77% cost savings as well. They saw 42% lower cost when using the self-built DCI versus the lease line. Further, adding some more complexity to the equation here, if you add the connectivity cost and the cost of IT operation also, the cost savings were 38%. So it doesn't matter how do you analyze the data, the end result is that there is a substantial cost saving on the operation side as well as on the infrastructure side. So over here you can see that on the connectivity side, there is a big saving when you are using the self-built DCI, and on the operations side also there is a big saving from the 5 million to 3.5 million, because you are more in control of your data center, you are managing your own connectivity, the IT staff are more in control of the connectivity, so there is a substantial cost savings there. So on the operations side, if you look at the self-built DCI, there was a really faster time to resolve any kind of network problem, because you are in control of your data center. So your response time is a lot more faster because your IT staffs are trained to manage it. They are trained to resolve the problem. Rather than if you have a private lease line, then you have to rely on the CSP to diagnose some of the problem. So there is a 51% faster resolution time, 3.8 hours to 1.5 hours. So there are three main areas where a lot of enterprises were judging their network performance. One was on the application latency, other is the transmission latency, and third one is the network availability. So what we saw that most of the enterprise, they got a lot of benefit from application latency using self-built DCI. So 39% said that they got a good improvement in application latency. 37% say they got a really good improvement in the transportation latency, and close to 29% say the network availability was improved quite a bit as well. So the best way to summarize the benefit of self-built DCI is not to basically talk about it, but to basically listen to the customer. And these are some of the quotes coming from customer directly. One of the customer who is from financial services, they said that self-built DCI, they are very easy to accommodate the traffic growth. You have greater control over your own data center. You have greater control over the support of your end customer. In some cases, lease lines are not available, so it makes sense to build the DCI as well. And the last one, but not least, is you have the capability to monitor your data center continuously, and since provide the SLA to the end customer also. So with all those findings, we think that self-built DCI makes a lot more sense for enterprise, and more enterprises are going to be building the DCI for themselves. And I think in one of the study which was shown earlier in the previous slides, in the first slide, was there is a growth in the DCI overall year over year, and these are the findings which kind of support that kind of growth. Thank you.
Thank you, Ajit. Okay, our next speaker will be Sanjay Kumar Sanani, and he's from Huawei, and he will provide a talk on the green data center of the future. Sanjay, please.
Thank you, and good afternoon. It's always tough to keep folks excited as we come to the close of the day, but let me try this. Smart Malaysia, Cloud and AI UAE, Smart Singapore 2025, these are all government-driven initiatives to leverage digital transformation to make life more comfortable for their citizens, to offer more services to their citizens. This is driven by a convergence of multiple technologies, as you can see. 5G, that allows us tremendous ability to scale, provision, automate, secure, reduce cost. AI, in terms of all the data analytics it can do and provide new business opportunities. 5G, in terms of the ability it provides in terms of speed, the parallel architecture in terms of being closer to the edge. This is all opening up opportunities for completely new, innovative business and services to be offered to the customer. All of this is creating a huge demand for compute, storage, and networks. In some of the non-traditional markets, this demand for resources is further accelerated due to data sovereignty and data control related aspects. We see a huge spurt in demand in Latin America, Asia, Africa, Middle East, where governments and financial institutions are mandating the need to have data centers close to point of operation, and therefore the need to either build or lease new data centers. Based on different reports, we believe that for the next 5 years, every year, 1 million+ cabinets will be added in terms of the data center footprint globally. In the last 5 years, hyperscale data centers have doubled. In last year alone, $30 billion worth of data center investments were done. We believe in the next 5 years, the data center footprint is going to go from 12 gigawatts to 25 gigawatts. As of right now, digital information, the energy consumed by digital information is 2% of the energy footprint. We believe by end of the decade, this will be at 8%. In some countries like Singapore, Netherlands, it has already become a cause of concern because of the sheer volume in terms of the energy footprint of this business. In fact, I believe in 2019 there was a moratorium in both these countries in terms of new build. Since then, the moratorium has been lifted, but with conditions. Conditions in terms of codes, regulations, policies, incentives, penalties, in terms of how much land, how much power, how much water you can use. In fact, the Singapore moratorium was just released or lifted, I think 6-8 weeks back. And PUE is one of the standards that they are using in terms of how to drive the efficiency in the data center. This growth of data centers is then juxtaposed with the demand for reducing carbon emissions. On one hand, we are seeing this crazy growth of this vertical. On the other hand, there's pressure to reduce the carbon footprint. And so it's very obvious that for the digital information age to be sustainable, we need to be able to build data centers in a manner which is sustainable, aka green data centers. Now, for data centers to be green, we have to look at the carbon across the life cycle of the data center. The carbon that is going to be put in the air during the deployment phase, during the construction phase, typically called embedded carbon. Difficult to measure in the current context, but there are many people working on it in terms of how do you measure embedded carbon. The second important aspect is the operative carbon, the carbon during the life cycle of the data center, 15, 20 years worth of carbon through the life cycle. And finally, the spillover carbon at the end of life in terms of how much carbon is spilled over. For this to be sustainable, clearly we have to focus on these areas. Now, in my role as head of business development and global CTO, I talk to hyperscalers, cloud service providers, data center service providers, and almost everyone agrees that to make this business, make this infrastructure sustainable, we will have to focus on green construction. Build only what you want. Build with resources where there is very high efficiency in resource utilization during construction and minimal wastage. Recycled resources. Build using green energy, renewables. Currently, the data center is probably the only vertical where if you look at a data center, if it's a 100 megawatt data center, there is 100 megawatt of redundant power available on the data center, in the data center premise. Efficient usage of energy, no-brainer. And finally, smart management. We believe that in the future, AI, machine learning, blockchain will all be used in many different ways to negotiate with energy suppliers in terms of where to source the energy depending on carbon footprint, availability, cost, and so on and so forth. Now, to build a data center that is green, it has to be built using low carbon design. You can't have a design which is a traditional design and then hope you will be able to reduce the carbon. Right from the early stages of concept, one has to look at low carbon footprints. At Huawei, we have developed a prefabricated modular construction system that allows us to reduce the carbon, embedded carbon, as compared to from the concrete and steel structure. We are able to build them in half the time. And we are able to use a lot of recyclable materials in the construction phase. The other aspect is, how do you use renewables and energy management? Today we are talking renewables in terms of solar and wind, We know they are not predictable, so you need to add energy storage. Even if you add all of this, you still have the Hydra curve of power tariff, especially in the renewable energy, because during the day with solar energy, abundantly available, the cost of solar energy goes down. In fact, in many markets, if the solar energy is more than what you demand, it even becomes zero. You need buyers to take energy. On the other hand, at times when renewables are not able to deliver, obviously due to cloud covers or bad wind weather, you would be looking at much higher costs. It's all going to be about managing this green energy so that we can ensure that the energy consumption, the operative consumption, reduces the carbon footprint. It's always not only about carbon footprint. The whole world, we're talking carbon footprint, energy consumption, carbon footprint. We tend to forget water. Water is also a very scarce commodity in many parts of the world. Arable water, drinking water is definitely a scarce commodity. And so, with data centers in hundreds of megawatts, and all the data centers are not necessarily in Scandinavia or the north of the equator. There are so many in the tropics where the temperatures are pretty heavy. I live in Dubai, in summers will be 48, it's already 30 right now. So when you're talking about hundreds of megawatts of data center campuses, we need to look at cooling in a very different way. The ability to use cooling in terms of new air distribution methods, more advanced material for heat exchange, indirect evaporative cooling, air side economizers, converged cooling systems, all of this is helping us to provide better cooling efficiencies within the data center. We believe going forward, as densities keep increasing, even liquid cooling will become a standard. In fact, with liquid cooling based solutions for high densities, we will also be able to recover the heat from this liquid system and use this heat for other advantages, including using reverse heat pumps and so on, and use the heat, in fact sell the heat in many countries. So clearly this is also an area of focus, because if you assume that the power efficiency is 100% and there is no cooling load factor because it's free cooling, and you can capture the heat and sell the heat, then mathematically a less than 1 PUE is also possible. And so this is an area of focus in terms of what we are trying to achieve. Real estate is expensive, and data centers are not simple. They are complex in terms of the electrical systems. Today we are able to put the complete electrical room in a prefabricated, pre-fitted approach in the factory. This allows us to reduce the footprint of the electrical room by almost 40 to 50%. What this does is it allows you to take this footprint and add it to your white space. So for the same total square footage, you have more sellable white space or more installable white space in the data center. In fact, when the whole solution is converged, you're able to factory fit a lot of embedded IoT, which we will see will be very useful when we start looking at analytics, management, and operation. Now, with so much IoT within the data center in terms of IoT inside transformers, inside pumps, fans, batteries, UPSs, and so on, bus bars, all of this data can be used to smartly visualize what's happening in the data center. We at Huawei are using digital twin technologies where you are able to see in real time a twin of your data center through smart visualization. All of this data is then used through regression analysis to be able to provide predictive analytics, which then helps to recommend what the user can do to improve the resource footprint of the data center, to improve the maintenance of the data center. In many ways, in fact, we are moving away from preventive maintenance to predictive maintenance within the data center. getting the best possible operating point in terms of efficiency within the data center is not easy. Loads are dynamic, they keep changing all the time. The temperature outside keeps changing through the day. The monthly weather keeps changing through the year. So how do you get to that sweet spot in terms of data center operation all the time, every time? And this is where machine learning and AI comes in handy. Today at Huawei, we've been able to look at information coming from, obviously, the sensors in terms of temperature, pressure in the data center, humidity, fan speeds, pump speeds, compressor speeds, water pressure, and constantly calculate what is the best operating point. So I'll give you an example. It might be possible to increase the chiller water temperature to a higher degree, which basically means the compressor is loaded less, and slightly increase the fan to still get the same results. Overall, the efficiency is much better. And this is an approach which we are using to bring further energy efficiency and optimization within the data center. I'm very excited to present to you some cases that we've been delivering out in the market. In Bahrain, we put together a 1.3 megawatt data hall in about 7 to 8 months, completely prefab, and was in fact awarded the new Design Build Data Center of the Year award from DCS. We helped one of our customers to launch almost 4 dozen edge data center sites in less than 3 months across the whole geography by using t-shirt size edge data centers depending upon the traffic and calculations that they had done. In Qinghai, the data center is fully powered by renewable energy and energy storage system. K2 data center in Ireland uses indirect evaporative cooling. In fact, the PUE is almost 1.1213. The Shanghai data center uses power pods, electrical. So the electrical rooms are modular, prefabricated rooms fitted to the main structure. And this has allowed them to improve their footprint by almost 12 to 14% in terms of the overall data center, almost 40% in terms of gray space. So these are all bringing more value to the data center in terms of helping the customers build a far more sustainable data center. Clearly, this is also helping Huawei. We've been growing very fast in this business. We're also getting some very strong recognition in the industry in terms of prefabricated data centers, modular UPSs, and so on. We believe that to make data centers sustainable going forward, the convergence of digital technologies and power electronics can be leveraged to bring new entitlements in the data center space. I leave you with this quote from an unknown philosopher, very apt for our times. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sanjay. And our final speaker for today's session will be Peter Tomaris, and he will provide a case study from AQ Compute. Peter, please.
Thank you. So, AQ Compute is probably not a very familiar name for those of you that are familiar with the data center industry, but some of you may know my name because I've been in the industry for around 25 years, developing data centers, building data centers, selling data centers, and doing almost everything connected with data centers. And AQ Compute is a very, very interesting concept because it involves a player that comes a little bit from sustainability and energy production that's now moving into data centers. And I'll tell you a little bit more about how that could actually change this business. So, our vision is very simply to decarbonize your data, meaning that we want to take the data center product and industry to the next level on sustainability, and doing that with a sustainability focus in everything we do. We have some tools, and I'll get back to those in a while. We are not going to be for everyone directly. We are basically addressing mostly the wholesale players in this world. So our clients will be from 1 megawatts and upwards. And we will go modular. So Sanjay, I follow you on that one. I think all modern data centers definitely need some kind of modularity in them. And then it's a little bit about the size of the different modules and the size of the data center, how much is modular, and how you sort of separate the modular from the more not so modular parts. What is AQ Compute? Well, we're part of a company called Aquila Capital, which is a capital investment company today managing around 30.5 billion euros. In 2030, that will increase to around 100 billion euros, and we believe that the data center part of that will be a substantial part. Aquila Capital today is doing a lot of things that has to do with sustainability. So we are one of the bigger renewable energy producers in Europe. We do both hydro, we do solar, and we do wind. And we definitely want to take this into the data center industry, and being a provider where we can actually offer a combination of actually producing the renewable energy and delivering the data center capacity, and getting our clients the best of two worlds, I would say. We're also a big player in logistics and real estate, and we build everything based on renewable processes, so we recycle almost everything we use for building the different sites. This is obviously also something we want to put into our data center designs. On top of that, we are now moving into something that is linked, I think, more and more to the data center industry, and that is energy storage, and how to actually support the grid and also support other functions, for instance, data centers, by having huge energy storage solutions spread around. We're currently building our first site in Belgium, but we are going to build a lot more around Europe. And do not be surprised if some of them are very close to our data center sites. So, what makes us unique? I've been touching on the energy production side, and for me, being a data center industry professional for 25 years, this is the first time I've been able to actually control the energy production that I'm actually going to utilize in my data centers. And this may seem trivial to some of you, but it's not. Because being a data center provider, trying to get renewable energy to your clients, you are 100% dependent upon the providers in the energy market. And you don't control them. But by doing both, we can actually offer, hopefully, 1 + 1 is 3 instead of 2. So, we will actually guarantee for every one of our clients and all our developments in data centers that we will at least, and I'm saying at least, start production of the same amount of renewable energy somewhere close to where we're building the data center. And we're today operating in a lot of European markets on producing renewable energy. It's not necessarily easy to produce everywhere because there are some grids that are still, not well suited for renewables. But we are definitely aiming to be in most European markets doing this. We are currently building a team, and I'm on stage. My team is actually a lot bigger than what's public at the moment, and I will just urge you guys, if you follow the data center industry, you will, in the next weeks and months, you will see a lot of news from AQ Compute. We have a team that is currently in stealth mode, but that mode is going public quite soon. We also have a lot of new sites on the verge of being public, so you will get news on that, I think, in the next weeks. And one of the things that we are aiming to do, as I said, we are addressing the larger clients directly. So one of the things we'll do is we will actually be able to provide our clients with data centers all over Europe for the start, and also pushing workloads to different places. So we're building the first site in Norway at the moment. Many of you probably know that Norway is the cheapest energy producer in country in Europe. So it makes a lot of sense putting HPC, for instance, in Norway or the Nordics. Whereas some of the loads you would probably want to put somewhere else. And we're going to be able to support our clients everywhere with the workloads and the setups that they need to be able to do this. And at least the feedback we get from the clients so far is that this is something that's of high interest to them. Our offering is basically delivering on what we say. So 100% renewable, we can offer a lot of different setups and densities. We are going to be very transparent, so we are going to publish to our clients real time what we do all the time. So if we fail, we are going to fail in a transparent way, but I don't think that is an option. So I see that I'm running a bit over time, so I will basically finish up to say that I think if you're looking for someone that will sort of change the industry a little bit, you should come talk to our team. You should also follow the news in the weeks and months to follow, because we are going to have a lot more to talk about in just a few weeks. So, thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Peter, for that enlightening discussion. So that concludes our session for today. I would like to very much thank our speakers here, and I would like to thank the audience for listening in. And I'd also like to thank our host, Huawei, for facilitating this session. And if you do have any more questions on this topic, feel free to contact the team here or visit Huawei at their booth in Hall 1. So thank you very much, and that's all for me.